Well, first, just thought South Carolina was really good today. I thought they were much tougher, much more aggressive. Thought they were much more disciplined. I just didn't have my team ready to play. At the end of the day, they weren't ready, and we had talked about trying not to get popped first, and we got hit first and second and third, and so again, I thought they were who I thought they were. I've been here enough. I've played against them enough. Their teams are always really, really tough. Their competitive spirit just oozes in the arena, and they just play with a real toughness to them. Anybody that knows me, and toughness is not just physical. It's the mental piece. That I think really shines and stands out a lot when you're watching a basketball team. We got outside of we were very uncomfortable early, and then it just went south in a hurry, and that's the mental piece. I told my team, it just seemed like we got uncomfortable today. We did a lot of uncharacteristic things, but that's what a team like that will do to you. It's what we normally do to people, but we didn't. It's hard to do it to a team like that who's so tough mentally and physically, and that's a credit to Dawn and her staff. And again, I've run into that team a lot over the years, and you've got to have your team in that same mode. And my team just wasn't in that mode. I wasn't able to convey that to them. It's nobody's fault but my own, and they just weren't ready. I think we were, my stat guy, said we're 12 for 32 at the rim. We got a lot of looks early that I like, that we've been making, but that's life on the road, right? So defense, rebound, and inside game. That's how you win on the road. Kyla has 11 and 16 tonight, and I think out of those 16, 12 of them were offensive, but second chance points, we don't have very many. Again, that's a toughness piece, and I think you've got lots of challenges. They're challenging every shot. That's part of a great defensive team. Like, I don't think coaches, and when I think of South Carolina, I always think of their defense. Like, they're always really good, and it's not just what they're doing on the ball or on the wing or what in the post. They play the play out. They're challenging even to the shot, and that's part of defense, right? Is contesting shots. So I'd ask anybody in the room, when's the last time you covered a team that got 28 more shots? Okay, we had 28 more shots. We had 14 more offensive rebounds. We forced 22 turnovers, and we got beat 17. You can raise your hand if you've ever covered a team that had those stats, because I don't think anybody's ever covered that, men or women. Like what I just said it's crazy, but they shot 51% for the game, 70 in the first half, I think. That's what somebody told me. And, we just, it really, to me, it's, again, I obviously didn't have them ready. I'll take full responsibility. Proud of Kai for her battling in there, man. She was a deadgum, she was a clothesline with a bunch of clothes hanging on her bunch today. And there wasn't too many safety pins involved. So she really battled. I'm proud of her. And, she took a charge there after she turned one down. She came back and took one. And, that's coaching. And that's being coachable. And so, again, I thought South Carolina was really special today. As I told Dawn, I had no idea how they got beat at UCLA. And, that's a really good basketball team over there. So we'll learn from it, and we'll move on.
Kyla, Rori, if each of you could take this, just how difficult was it to try to get past their defense, especially in the paint under the rim. It just seemed like their arms were kind of always around y'all when you tried to jump.
You're in the paint, not me. They were hanging on you.
As Rory just said, they were hanging on me a lot, so it was very frustrating. But just still try my best to make the basket regardless. There was a time where I missed it regardless, but I had like 4 putbacks. Got nothing, clothesline and everything. It's just a physical game overall. Basketball is a contact sport, so I just put it behind me and still try to do my best.
Yeah, I feel like we got a good amount of shots in the paint or around like where some of us are used to taking those shots. Yeah, they're contested and a little bit contested, but I mean, not every shot's gonna be wide open, and so I think that we just didn't make enough shots around those good spots that we normally do, and credit to their defense.
Yeah, and make no mistake, I'm telling you, they're contesting shots, is what I'm telling you. Yeah, they're around everything, whether it's an offensive board or a jump shot or anything else. They do a great job of contesting shots. That's what I'm talking about, okay?
Other questions for Coach?
For either player, just what makes this South Carolina team in particular tougher or different than any other team that you guys have faced this season?
They're very well coached. I know they were set up to be successful today and were very well prepared, unlike us today, which is uncharacteristic. So I hope it doesn't happen again. But yeah, when you come against a team like South Carolina, coached by Dawn, and you have great players that are coachable, ran everything she asked them to do, and I mean, we play some good defense here and there, but when you play against great teams like that, it doesn't matter. They made a lot of their shots today too, and it's hard to run in transition on any of that. And so yeah, they're just very well coached and a great team. They're number 2 for a reason. So.
Coach Steve Reed from the Associated Press.
Steve Reed from the Associated Press. You've seen some of Don's national championship teams before. This one, in what ways is it different, better, worse? What about this team is when you look at this team stands out to you?
I don't know that it's any different. I mean, her teams, to her credit, they're always, they're very tough. I've said that word now a bunch in here. And it's not, it's not just the physical component, it's the mental component. I thought we were really mentally weak today. I just was so disappointed. I looked out there sometimes thinking, who is that? And and again, it's obviously I've not done a good job conveying to my players what we're looking for, what we want to do, how we want to do it. And I think when I play against her teams, like they very rarely get outside of their bodies, so to speak. They don't get outside of their mind. They have a way they want to do things, and they do it. That's typically how my teams play. We just weren't that way today. I don't know if it was the pancakes. I have no idea. But it just, I was really frustrated with my group early on because of the mental things that we had going on throughout the course of the game. But again, I'll take responsibility for that because I obviously haven't conveyed to them the importance of doing your job. Like everybody has a job to do. Like that team, their leading scorers come off the bench. Their leading scorers don't average 20. They average 11. 14, 2 of them average 14 in conference. So it isn't about who's the leading scorer. That's a team over there. They play really well together. And we have been doing that. I mean, my team has been really good up until today. I mean, we've been really, really good. It's just today. What's the date? What is today? The 12th? Do we play on the 12th again next month?
coach them so we can attack it differently.
I just, you know, I don't know what happened today. You know, we talk about doing your job and being the thermostat, not the thermometer. Well, we wanted to be the thermostat today, but we ended up being the thermometer. You know, they set the thermostat. We talked about trying to set the thermostat today. We didn't set the thermostat. And it just, again, when you got to bring an edge. If you're going to play and live in the top 5 neighborhood in the country, like those top 5 teams are typically there year in and year out. And I'm talking about programs. So top 10 programs each year, when the preseason poll comes out, your fan base doesn't look 12 through 25. They look at the top 10. That's the neighborhood you live in. If you're going to live in that neighborhood is full of a bunch of people that live with an edge. They have an edge to them. South Carolina has an edge. They play with an edge. And we've been doing that, but today we didn't have that edge, and we talked about having an edge. But that's what separates the top 10 programs, not teams. Teams are, you know, really 15 through 30 are fluid. Every year, men and women's basketball, those teams are in and out, up and down. But the neighborhood of the top 10, that's a select group. And usually it's the same group every year for the most part. And those teams have the it factor. They have the edge. They play with an edge, with an attitude of the dog gets the bone. And we didn't play with that edge today. And I have no idea why. But my fault. My job is to have them ready. And I just didn't have them ready. So we've got to, you know, we'll go home and have a couple of good days, and we got to go back on the road for 2 more. Got to see another top 10 team a week from now, a week from tomorrow, and got to play at Auburn on Thursday. So ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for us, but we've got to fix some things. But again, we've been doing it. It just today was not our day.
Vic, I doubt you'd ever seen Maddie go 3 for 19 in a game. Just how did she get past this? How do you talk to her before the next game about saying, hey, it's just one game, leave it in the bag?
Yeah, I think, you know, we'll go back and look at all 19 shots and talk about the ones we liked and maybe the ones that we could probably get something better. And you learn from it. I think the thing you gotta give her a little grace. She's a 19-year-old, just sophomore in college. And so you're going to have some of these, and especially now after the freshman year she's on the front of everybody's scouting report. And so, you know, I think, but we'll go back and look at that. And you know, I'm not going to be too terribly worried about it, but I think we've got to learn from it. And she will. I mean, you're talking about one of the all-time greatest kids ever. So I don't worry too much about her. Again, today was not her day, but it wasn't any of us our day. So we'll learn from it.
Anything else?
All right. Praise the Lord and Hook 'em Horns. Thank y'all.
Thank you.